Okay, I'd like to call the. I didn't give you enough notice. I'd like to call the Tree Advisory Commission meeting to order, May 6th, 2024, 5 p.m. I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes previous month.
I make a motion to approve the minutes they have one.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? All right, we have opportunity for public comment. Any comments from the floor? Mr. Gross?
Yes, Philip Gross, 1301 13th Street. It's good to be back. I was a little busy with a bunch of elections and things going on, but now I'm back. This is an issue that I brought up last year, and this commission steered me towards back to the city, but the city seems to want to do their own thing, so I figured I'd bring it back here. In regards to plantings, in the past, it was brought to my attention that there is a separate garden committee that was funded by the city in a separate thing. And they seem to have amnesia to that, which I find hard to believe since I've only been here 9 years and they've been here. I think most of them were born on Delaware Street. So I guess I'm bringing up again, one, is it something that can be brought back to this committee since they don't seem to be animated enough to follow up on, again, the simple things like more down at the wharf, or maybe the courthouse area.
Talk about plants and flowers.
In those cement pots that were, I guess, years ago donated in memory of somebody.
But you're not treating.
Well, all the work
Beautification.
Okay,
and all the work for that was volunteer. It was donations and volunteer labor.
okay. So if council seems to have memory loss that there was a beautification committee, it's really not anything that could be brought back to this commission.
Actually, we have put together a budget proposal that we're going to discuss tonight, and that is part of our. The idea of adding that as a kind of a subcommittee is something that we have and we'll be discussing.
See, that's why I could count on you guys for being the greatest,
Timing is.
and my admiration's always there. Okay, thank you.
Dempsey was very big into that, and I think that might be the reason
It's
why.
like it's gonna be supposed to have spoken. Not.
Oh, really? Oh. That might be the reason why. It's- Yeah.
The
Oh, right, okay.
holiday.
Yeah. right.
Any other public comment? All right, moving on to old business application 2024-01, Chanel and Andrew D. Bright, 912 Clayton Street, removal and replace. All right, this application has come back to us. We had discussed it and actually voted on the fact that the owners have requested a removal, but in our evaluation and with the help of Norman's professional opinion, we had approved simply trimming tree. But what has happened since that time is the owners have come back to the city and have pleaded their case, I guess, before the city administrator, and she has consulted with Mr. Delgado, and they have decided that the tree should be removed. And the city is going to be doing the removal.
So then we don't have to worry about
Well, I think that we should officially approve the fact that, you
Right.
know,
it. But I'm saying we don't have.
the city's gonna take care of it, yeah.
Okay.
You mean their workers?
Yeah, they actually are planning, it's on their short list of trees to be done.
As per your statement, I make a motion to go ahead and approve the to release the
There needed to be removal and replace.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, yeah.
Carl, I don't know if this is the moment when people are supposed to speak, but since I've already started, why don't I continue? It would just seem to be reasonable that, if there's a change in plan, that the person who's going to make the decision to do that should probably come, before the group and say, well, this has come to my attention. And I know you've decided that it shouldn't come down. Here's my argument.
Duly noted.
I would think that would be
Because,
a courtesy for
yeah,
you.
because also they want to replace, it, and that's
Is that who it would be?
way over there. It's not even on radar.
I agree.
It's one tree on the street. And it would seem to me that you should be prepared to do something. If you're gonna take that tree down, what's the plan? And we're faced with the same thing on the east side, second block of Fourth Street, where we're working now on the two pits. There's one tree there. If you take it out, everyone is scurrying around, unhappy about it to some extent, but then when you explain that, you're gonna run a whole row of 7, 8, 9, 10 trees down there, then they're all excited about it, and it takes on a different flavor.
Well, we made no commitment to do that. It does say remove and replace, so. If we approve as remove and replace, we're gonna have to.
Well-
So can you just remove?
You could make an addendum to make it just remove.
I'll add that.
You would like to
I'd like to add that we will approve to remove, but not to replace.
We don't want it to be replaced?
No,
I'm
we're
confused.
but we don't have the tree for it.
We don't have the trees for it.
Oh,
They're removing it, so they would need to replace it.
Mhm.
Because we don't have, we don't have anything for them.
But it isn't just replacing a tree, if there's a plan of some kind, since there are none there. You may need 7, 8 trees to cover the block, where are they? And what are they?
Well, they're not in the budget.
We can say, how about we say, we can remove and, consider replacement in the future.
But that's what, Ron is saying, though, when you take the tree down without a plan, then they're upset. So if we just remove it, we say we're going to replace it someday, it might be controversial. I don't know.
Well, ultimately, we are an advisory commission. We make advice to the city. The city has every right to do whatever they decide to do after they receive our advice.
No, they do, but they should come before us and speak.
That's duly noted.
Thank you.
Uh,
The motion on the floor has not been seconded or
for the addendum.
for the addendum, yes.
Do you have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
All right. So we can take that out. Application 2024-02606 French Town Road. I just talked to Mr. Delgado today. They actually started the removal of that tree today. That is underway. He will be completing that job tomorrow. Application 2024-03. And Mr. Coenza. I don't know if I'm saying that correct. 1011 Washington Street. We tabled this application last month. Art, do you have any, you wanna step in on this? Art did some research for us.
The first map is, overview of the area in question, where Washington Street is. And second, map is the zoomed in area of it. As you can see, Washington Street is a state road. It's part of the Route 9 corridor. And those dots represent every single crepe myrtle on the street. That's the exact amount. And the last map, you can barely see it. There's like purple lines around the property. If you can see, those crepe myrtle trees are on the 1011 Washington Street property. So they're out, they're outside of the line.
So you would say they're officially state property?
Yeah. And these road layers come from DelDOT, so they're pretty accurate.
Didn't we go through this with those trees before?
Yeah, but it wasn't pointed out that it was, really state property. I talked with, Jeff Bergstrom, and he had suggested that when it is state property, you start at the middle of the roadway and you go 35 feet each way. So that probably takes that, boulevard, in on the left-hand side for the crepe myrtles. Yeah, so, now, I might have misspoken last time when I suggested that, those trees were put in by the city. They may not have, or the state may have given the city a grant to do it. But that's their, that really is their thoroughfare, as is Sixth Street.
But what we had to do last time is, I met with John. Because we set it up that anything he trims, he needs to have me out there or somebody out there to approve it. And he called me, I went out there and we approved it, the cutting, but it wasn't really that much, but
Right.
we did, that was 3 years ago.
Right. Well, if it really is state property, then, when people complain about the London planes in the wires and whatever, then they probably shouldn't come here. Which is great, right? Because,
Right.
That's a,
Except they're gonna do it anyway, but other than that.
I'm sorry, I might have talked over you. I didn't.
Right, so at this point, don't think we need to make any motions, or I think it's just a fact. The recorded fact, it's part of our minutes that this property that is being considered is actually state property. So I guess we should contact the owner at some point and let him know. Anybody willing to take that on?
Yeah, and I'll also go and measure from the center of the road out 35 feet, you said,
That's what Jeff said,
and just see where we do stand on both sides.
So you'll talk to the owner and do the measurement.
That would, that's
The application should be in
10, 11.
All right, moving on, number 4, application 2024-05, Ron Volker, 605 Delaware Street, follow up. So the follow-up that we were waiting for is we were questioning whether MSC should have to go get involved in the removal of this tree because the electric lines. Apparently, Mr. Delgado said that they can take down the tree, and they will do so as soon as we give them the approval to go ahead. So, I'm like to make a motion.
How is that with, or lack of money, or their budget?
Well, anytime the city does the work, it comes out of the public works. So it won't come out of somebody's coming out of somebody's budget. It's not coming out of our, I believe it's the public works, but.
Removal of span 3.
605 Delaware Street.
Are you finished with your motion?
Have a second?
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I will let Mr. Delgado know. All right, number 5, Brandywine Valley Services, follow up on tree work. We had a, list of trees and jobs that, we had approved, but I don't think the work has been done. And, in talking to Mr. Delgado today, that I don't know if the tree company has even been contacted, Brandywine Services. But, with the information that Alice just shared with us today, we probably should hold off on any work until we find out what the budget issue is.
Okay, well, till next year.
Yeah, so we're gonna table those, projects until further notice. I would recommend we do. I think we have to have a motion to table.
I make a motion to table this, work until next month.
That's number 5.
Huh?
This is number 5, yeah.
Can we go over number 2, Frenchtown Road?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and that was approved last,
Yeah, we had approved it, but we
Yeah.
were waiting for a follow-up from MSC as well.
and then did say,
And they said it's fine, and Rick's team is out there, we're out there today.
okay, all right.
All right, so we're up
The
to.
motion has been,
Second.
thank you,
And
and a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think that's. Okay, so, where are we now? Oh, new business, application 2024-06, Crystal and David Walker, 219 East Second Street, the pruning request. Has anybody gone to see that tree?
what do you?
It's 219 East Second Street, it's down by, heading toward Bull Hill, past Chestnut Street. On the right hand side, I believe it's a cherry.
It's 19 East.
East Second.
I'm going out tomorrow to do some other stuff.
I think it's a cherry from what I can remember, and it, certainly is in need of some pruning. Anybody like to make a motion to have that city look at it for pruning?
I make a motion that we, ask the city to, review.
Evaluate, yeah.
Evaluate, the tree, at 219 East Second Street for pruning. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They're in bad shape.
All right, application number 2, application 2024-07, trustees of Newcastle Commons, 5th and 424 Delaware Street, removal and replacement. Mr. Baldini, would you like to talk about that?
Well, we got the tree outside the library, and on the top side, it drops the leaves into the drain system, which is not a regular rain gutter kind of thing. It's an actual drain system that goes into the building, if you will, and then wraps around, but whatever. Those leaves over time have clogged all of that, so at least at the top side, it's got to be trimmed off. Then on the bottom side, it is now breaking up the asphalt on the streets, causing damage there.
Is that the new tree?
No,
Is it on Fifth Street, is it? It's on Fifth Street.
It's on the side of the library, yeah.
On the side by the big bay window.
Right where the bike rack is, the bike rack.
So the request was to remove and replace it.
New and replaced. It certainly looks like it needs to be removed and replaced, in my opinion. I make a motion that we check with, actually, Rick Delgado said he and his team can take care of that tree down. So I make a motion that we have Rick Delgado's team take the tree down at Fifth and 424 Delaware Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
He seemed, talking to him today, I think he's gonna get to that. He was just waiting for our approval tonight.
Okay.
So I'll let him know first thing and hopefully get it done as soon as possible.
Much appreciated.
Number three, application 2024-08. Oh, that's the same, that's a duplicate. So 2024-08 and 2024-07 are requesting the same work. So, how do we do that, Cap? Do we just scratch it?
Yeah. I'll just make a notation that it's a duplicate of 07.
Carl, I object. I've already talked about that one. I withdraw that.
No hard feelings, Ron. Okay.
Good times.
Right, number four. Application 2024-09 Patty O'Brien, Sixth Street and Tremont Street, request removal and replace. You're familiar with this tree, I am as well. So the corner of Tremont and Delaware is a huge, not sure what type of tree. Silver maple. And earlier this year, they had to repair the corner, the curb work, and I think there was a drain there as well.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bergstrom and his crew had gone out, and the owner had come out at that point and asked that the tree be removed because there's branches that fall and apparently have hit their cars, et cetera. But at that point, the city chose not to remove it. I don't think it even came to us. It went through Mr. Bergstrom's authority. And they chose just to repair the corner and left the tree alone. So I recommend that,
We don't expect.
that's what I would recommend that the commission take some time, go take a good look at the tree. We table it until next month and then we'll evaluate and make a vote plan for a vote for next meeting.
Is that a motion?
I will make that a motion. I move that we table application 2024-09 until next month, until all the commission members can go out and evaluate and make an opinion on the tree proposal. That was anybody's, a few seconds?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Limit the table. Right, up to member comments and discussion. That's you all. Anybody have anything? Art, did you have any more to share?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's your cue. You're right.
Goodness gracious. Are we paying for this or?
I did some research on like federal monies for our convention. And there's some good news and bad news regarding that. So my agency, USDA, the Forest Service has a program, it's called Urban Community Forest Program. It's the only program in the federal government that's dedicated to enhancing urban forests, which we have in the city of Newcastle. They have a grant, but unfortunately the grant application period closed in March, late March. So we're kind of late for applying for it. And I think the grant for like every 3 years. So we wouldn't be able to apply for it till like in 2027, they said, in the future. But it is available monies for us, because we do fit the eligibility for the VR, I guess, municipal government we are. Yeah, so we do fit it. But you know, a lot of information here about the program. There'll be a couple contacts I put in here. There's the urban forestry coordinator for the state, be good contact for the program. There's also a federal person too on the next page. I work with USDA is a good contact for this program as well. And then the last few pages I have it has the actual information about the grant, all the details of it, about how long it is and when to apply for it, and but unfortunately it's closed. So it's not gonna help us this year or the next couple of years, but just know that it's available for us in the future. Yeah.
Somebody said, you said that Chris was involved with some money.
Norman brought that up
One
last meeting.
Chris Coon.
And he brought up.
Well, he was the one who made the call to say it was awarded.
So I'm,
Is this the program that he was talking about here? You know, is that the same one? Yeah.
It might be.
You do?
Well, likely probably is. It's the
Yeah.
only one that probably would do for urban.
Yeah,
Forest.
I sent
and was Ethan, it was March, right?
an email explaining our situation.
To Chris Coon?
The good news is our friend Taryn Davidson is
Yeah.
involved in this as well. So we all just met Taryn, so some of us have met her again, when she came up to deliver our red bud tree for being the pre-seed. So we do have, some contact here. And we can use this. So, Art, this means you gotta stay around for a couple more years.
My term is over in November, but I'm allowed to stay on.
Well, we will,
We don't
How much?
usually let anybody get away without, when it gets close to the end, we, put chain on you, have to carry that around, we only let you off.
How much, is available?
Well, they just, but they said they invested $1 billion, but, they said some people were asking for up to 6.4 billion, like nationwide, so I'm sure there's still money out there, but unfortunately, like, in the application period.
Well, that's gonna have much.
Can I ask this one? You're referring to the federal program? But that does indeed fund the state program?
Yeah,
Do you think the state program closed?
I have no idea about that. I know this is different. This is.
I'm just suggesting that if you can't get into the federal side, maybe you can pick up some of this from the state side.
So you think maybe the
the
state
window-
would have been something of this and then get into that? Yeah.
If the window from the state is open, you might be able to take advantage of that and get some of that funding.
we just,
I think Taryn might, she probably knows.
well, we just received the grant last year. So we have to wait a year and then we can apply again.
From the state forestry?
For that, yeah, that was her, Taryn was involved in the Gateway project for all the trees on Delaware Street. That was mostly funded from that money.
Oh.
But we have to wait, we can't do it this year, we have to wait 1 more year to apply.
And we've had 2 grants from them, and it essentially, that has resulted in about 24, 25 trees. We planted about 80 trees on the main street.
Thank you, Art. Any other comments from, commission members? I have a couple things. I would like to make a recommendation. Many of you were aware we had, Bill Seibold came up from the state of Delaware, and he did an evaluation of our catalpa tree at 117 East Second Street, property of Jim Givens. And they came up and took measurements, and they have assured us, almost guaranteed the fact that that is the biggest catalpa tree in the state of Delaware. So it's a champion tree, which to me means that we as a city should do everything we can to help preserve it. It's a historical part of the city. So one of the recommendations is that they do a core sample, like we did with the big elm tree out in front of the Amstel House. So I was going to,
How much was it?
it was about $1,600. So again, it's gonna depend if we have money to do it, and if we don't have the money, then, I think that we should try to do something to raise money to get that done. But to determine the health of the tree,
I think that probably people that live here and have lived here for a long time, I mean, $1,600 you had, when you figure on how many houses?
oh, it's just, yeah, I mean.
You wanna do like a GoFundMe?
Well, that's what I'm saying, we could
Yeah.
try to think about some ways that we could raise that money.
Yeah,
I would like to first see if we can do it through the city.
right.
So, so I was gonna make a recommendation that we petition the city to pay for a core sample of that tree and see how that goes.
Okay.
That's a good idea. And we
Yeah, so, I should put that in the form of a motion. So I make a motion that we, we propose that the city pay for a core sample of the historic catalpa tree at 117 East Second Street. We'd have to get bids for the job, for the work. Anytime.
The state doesn't pay for it, it's a state, would be a state champion.
They were very hesitant to commit to any work on the tree because they don't have the funding either, no. But there wasn't any, he said there were no programs that he knew of.
I even talked to him about, because he said if you put mulch, around it, stuff like that, and you feed it. And I said, well, can we, he said, we don't have the funding. We were lucky, I guess they had funding to send one to 3 people out. It took 2 people to measure it.
Oh, yeah.
They were one's holding here, one's walking around, and then they're going up and around.
But they will make the, there's a pamphlet that comes out every other year, I believe, it's called Big Trees of Delaware, and it will be in the Big Trees of Delaware. But we haven't got our official confirmation that that's most likely. All right.
Motion on the floor.
Can I talk about the tree inventory for just a sec?
Can
There's a
we,
motion on the floor.
Motion on the
sec-
floor.
Second.
All in favor? Go ahead.
Can I get, what is the significance of the tree inventory? What is it for?
The tree inventory?
Yeah,
The primary reason was to establish what trees needed to be watered for the watering
so
plan.
it's not something that's, it doesn't have to be so accurate that it's.
Well,
Because I found a little discrepancies here and there, you
yeah,
know, and I didn't know if it was important or not.
well, we would like to be able to identify, I would love to have a map or of and identify every tree in the
So
city.
they were sending us a map every time they measured.
He has a map, but I'm saying for our purposes as tree committee, and we started with the newer and younger trees, but I'd like to expand upon that and then now go around and add the more mature trees to the list, so we know exactly which trees are where.
Well, for instance, it says, 3 Summers Towers in front of the library, and I only see 2,
Yeah, well, that's,
that kind of stuff.
They're there.
It's important, huh?
They're there,
Where are they?
one's on the street, 2 in front of the library,
oh, that's right.
2 on the street in front of the library.
1, and then there's 1
In the library building?
well, there's 3, because I planted them, I know there's 3.
There's,
Well, that's what I'm wondering, I didn't see them.
it's in that little alcove.
Okay, all right, so that's considered to be. And also I had Spring Flurry on the 500 block. I counted 19 on 22. Does that ring a bell?
On Delaware,
Yeah,
well, the lady ran over 1.
Yeah,
the what?
We had
somebody
a,
ran one.
we had a casualty.
Oh.
We had a
Some
tree
could have
that
died.
was run over by a person that was going to the post
Oh.
office. And we didn't replace it because
Okay.
of this.
All right, well, yeah, well, so this is
So to
something,
answer your question,
a project for,
anytime, feel free. I believe you can download that, you could, I think you should have a copy of that, I think I sent it to you. Of that inventory,
Yeah, I have it right here.
No, but I mean, on your computer, so if you wanted to update or edit or change,
No, I don't.
feel free.
Okay, all right.
It can help.
Well, now I'm worried because of it. I didn't know it was inside, you know, I didn't even change it. Anyway, okay. Good.
Yeah. So this is just a first draft. We've been asked to put together a proposal for our budget request for the upcoming year. And so going through some of the expenditures that we've had this year and rolling them over and putting them into a format where you can actually see where the expenses are. So there's two columns. On the left side column is a tree planting column. On the right side is the tree pruning or removal column. And then the whole package for tree planting is considering planting of 20 trees. So these figures are all based on the 20 trees being planted. So if we are granted the approval of or get the budget money from the city for this event, we have a plan of what it's going to cost for, for planting versus, and of course, the pruning removal are all estimates. It's just,
How does this compare to what we had this year?
this year we had $20,000 budget. We had asked for an increase to 25, and we thought that we were going to get that, but it ended up we did not. So we ended up with a $20,000 budget. Now, the big expenditures, as you can see, as always, are the tree removals. If we have 3 trees being removed at $3,500 a tree, we're looking at almost $11,000.
Yes.
So it's half of our, thankfully, as I notated on the bottom with the highlight, a large percentage of the tree work that we have done in the city is done by our public works. So it's the exceptionally large trees that are the ones that have to have a professional company come in to. And so just off the top of my head, I know that we took down at least 3 large trees this year. So I just used that. The rest of the trees that were removed were smaller and not, and the city was able to handle it. I think we paid for tree company for 3 trees. And they range between
We split actually.
we did split one, the cost of one. The actual cost of the removal was $3,500 approximately.
Except
So
for one tree?
one tree. So the big tree, 411 Delaware Street, that was $3,500. The big tree behind 400 Delaware Street was actually on, that's 4th. That was a big oak tree. That was $3,400 to remove it.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I know that's really, removing a tree is so expensive, it really is.
and bringing the trees in is not cheap either. And, when you look at the actual expenditures, about 12,000 for 20 trees, it's about $12,000 to $13,000.
Now,
13,000.
this says planting 10 young trees at Plymouth Farm, right?
Yeah, that's in, we've been bringing and purchasing and buying smaller trees and planting them
Oh, here.
at Penn Farm, so we have trees available. So, for example, when the tree was run over by the library, we considered bringing one of our Penn Farm trees in to
Mhm.
replace it, but, we still have to pay for the trees and the care of the trees. So look it over and, think about whether you want to make any adjustments to it. We could decrease the amount that we're asking for. Or we can stick with this figure and
Another.
and hopefully, yeah.
Always
It's
ask for
easier.
more than you expect to
Yeah.
get, I guess, huh?
Always the way I work, so,
Yeah.
So I read the emails. Where's the actual cost of the trees?
that was, oh. Thought that was in the. Wait, that's a huge, I don't know. Right, so we found our first split. We will certainly have to table this and revise it. And I will do
How much are the trees generally? Do you know?
that. And
Offhand?
they vary.
Yeah, it
I mean,
could be. Well, I'd say you'd be safe, say between 200 and 350, depending upon the size. The ginkgos that were just put in were more expensive.
Okay, so that's a tree plant, 20 trees, are we talking 20 trees in the city or 20 trees including the 10 that goes to Penn Farm?
No, in the city.
Ooh.
So we want to up the amount.
all right, well then, we need to table this and I will get back to work.
So now we're looking at 30,000 instead, right?
Well, what we have to look at is where we can. Where
I
we
know,
can
I'm
cut.
kidding.
Maybe that we can only get 10 trees or whatever, so. That's part of the process.
So the figures you have there now is based on the amount you got for this year.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
most of the figures came from Gateway.
Right, but I mean. You had 20,000 this year, even though you asked for 25. So why don't you ask for 30 or 35? I mean,
Yeah, I mean.
you have the figures to back it up.
Right. Sure. To be honest with you, when the first 5 trees were removed, and it was total was 35,000 at that point.
There you go.
Yeah.
All you can do is ask.
But I
You
think,
wanna add that to the tree planting.
but I think we need to add it more to the planting side.
Well, whichever way, but you know that we've already got 1 or 2 trees that we know are gonna have to happen,
Oh, yeah.
and they're both big ones.
Good.
So that's $7,000 right there or more.
All right, well, let's table this and I will work on it and send out a revision. I mean, I think the budget period is in June, right? End of June,
Yeah.
so we have to get to it. So we have to get something.
Yeah, I'm sure that they have a period before that though. that
Yeah,
They're in the process now.
Yeah, they're in the process, so I will work on it right away. I'll send it out to people and we'll,
Just one little thing.
Yeah.
The average cost, it should be cost, but, what's the 5 trees in the grants? And the tree pruning removal. Tree trimming average cost, and then you have 5 trees in grants. What is the 5 trees?
Oh,
Huh?
5 trees that we trimmed.
Trim. Okay, and because, it's, for instance, they says a tree removal, 5 trees, but then you have $3,500 per tree and times 3. So that's, I don't understand what that is, what the 5
It's
trees.
3,500 per tree, and we've soaked down 3 big trees.
Right, but what's the 5 trees?
Well,
So 2,000 smaller.
that was a typo, I forgot to update that.
Oh.
Thank you. It should be 3. All right, back, I have my homework,
Yeah,
back to work.
Quick question, since I don't have the proposed budget in front of me, how much was proposed for, if possible, to add a beautification?
Oh, yeah. We estimated the cost would be about $2,000 annually.
Okay.
I think that's more than they got.
Yeah,
What the last time, yeah.
there are 22 pots. And we were looking at 3 seasons of plantings. you know, spring, summer, fall. And, talked to, a couple of my local garden friends who gave me some estimate costs for what they think it would cost to do that. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we are. I don't have anything else unless anybody else does. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Um,
Motion. Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.